Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Simona. I am the owner of Kawaii Decoden cases, and today I want to share with you guys my small business journey. I have made a little timeline for you guys to follow along with. I'm gonna share with you guys just details of what I have learned running this small business, the Kawaii Decoden Cases LLC. And what I didn't add to the timeline that I just remembered, making this an LLC. When did I do that? Anywho, I am here recording with my Twitch subscribers, so if you ever want to join in on my YouTube channel recordings, come on over to Twitch, subscribe, and I usually do these bonus streams on Wednesdays. Make sure to do that. Make sure you are liking this video, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and you are following and or subscribing everywhere. I am SimonaJulieta on all social medias. I do live stream every Tuesday and Thursday making Decoden on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Once again, under the same username everywhere. Now let's get started with the video. I'm wearing my business attire. This is my business casual and socks. Rate the fit, please. Go ahead. On a scale of 1 to 10, how business? How much do you want to do business with me in this attire? We look professional, we are professional. A 12, wow, so it's such professional, so demure, so cutesy. This is the timeline, the MCU timeline that Loki is just gripping with both his hands on either side. Let's start off 2017. I made my first phone case. I have told this story a bajillion times on the live stream, but if this is your first time hearing this story, here it is. This is my origin story. This is how it all started. The year was 2017 when I, Simona, wanted to order a Decoden case from someone. So I got in contact with a small business who made Decoden cases, and they never got back to me. The end. Very abrupt ending, but that's it. That's what inspired me to start making Decoden cases, was just, I wanted that case and they never got back to me. So here we are, 7 years later, living the dream. I have been a crafty person all my life. We could start this timeline way back in 1992 when I was born, but we're not. We're starting 2017. How old was I in 2017? I was 25 years old. I just wanted to try, and then I did. And I made my first phone case. There she is. If you'll notice, the daisy beheaded, decapitated, if you will, head on this iPhone 7 phone case is a Pez dispenser. Yes, the candy Pez. I found it at work and I was like, let's make something of it. I've always been a collage artist. I've always preferred collage as my medium. I'll post some examples of collage work that I've done in the past. Future editing me, that's enough. Just grabbed a few things from the junk bin at work and I put it together using some really terrible AliExpress Decoden cream that I probably paid $1 per tube. It was really bad. All of the little ABC little things on it, they're like baby charms from the Dollar Tree. And then the ice creams and the cookies are from either AC Moore, which was still open when I started this business, or Michael's, more than likely AC Moore. And they were like little embellishments. And then that at the top right corner is a hat. It's a little straw hat. Isn't she so sweet? She was really sweet. I wore this case on my phone for probably a day. And then I made other ones. Wow. Look at these pretty cases. The quality was abysmal. Again, I was using AliExpress Decoden cream, and there's one over here that like I didn't even put Decoden cream, because if you have ever done Decoden, you know the frustration of the first couple of times you can't get the little shells to come out right. So then the impulse goes in of like, maybe if I smear it artistically and put the charms on top, it will look okay. It doesn't, but we all go through this delusion that maybe that's the way. It's not the way. Oh, look, here's the daisy case in action. Y'all have to start somewhere. I did use these images to make my business cards because art art back in 2018. So we're over here in the timeline. Started selling on Etsy, customs, and pre-made. I've mentioned this before where I used to have an Etsy shop. I used to sell on Etsy, and I do recommend for anyone who is starting a small business making little artsy stuff to start somewhere like Etsy or something similar to Etsy, where Etsy has its own algorithm, and Etsy is a place where people go to find handcrafted items. I recommend this if you don't already have a social media presence. I did not have a social media presence at all when I started in 2018. Who actually liked those posts back in 2018? Not many people. Maybe people that I knew in college and maybe from work, but my social media presence did not truly begin until much later in the timeline. But yeah, 2018, I started on Etsy. Etsy is great because it does help you take care of taxes, helps you take care of shipping and like doing all that. And starting in a platform like Etsy let me get familiarized with my own pace of work, meaning an order comes in, I work on the order, I ship it out. How long did that take me? And also just what are the steps? Step 1, get the order. Step 2, acquire the supply. Step 3, put it together. Step 4, send a picture to the customer to look at and approve. Step 5, finalize. Step 6, take a picture of the final piece. Step 7, email the customer. Step 8, ship it out. So like having all those steps and knowing what it is for your specific business, it's very easy to do when you have a platform like Etsy. Whereas when I switched over to my own website, I had to take care of a lot of things that I didn't have to take care of while I was using Etsy. I'm not saying use Etsy because I know that Etsy does charge a whole lot of fees, which are super unfair, and it's gotten really competitive with dropshippers over on Etsy. It's where I started, so I can't recommend you something that I did not use, but I did use Etsy way in the beginning. So I made my first business cards, which I still have a few copies of. If you ever have business cards for your business or anything like that, keep a few. It's nice to see how your logo or how your business has changed. The front of the business card has changed, the back of it, like the information, has not. I have made it a point of when I started my Etsy and I started my Instagram and I started all of my other accounts, I tried to keep the username all the same. That's why I'm SimonaJulieta on all platforms. And then the nickname for the accounts is Kawaii Decoden Cases. So if you look up SimonaJulieta or you look up Kawaii Decoden Cases, I come up. It's not easy when the name of your shop is a little generic. So think of that when you are starting your own small business. Make sure that your name isn't a name that make sure the usernames aren't taken up. If you want to make your store name, let's see, Magical Star. I'm sure there's a million Magical Stars out there. You don't want your business account name, like on Instagram, to be Magical Star 123, Magical Star 8521780, you know? Like, you don't want it to be a bunch of random numbers. I'm very thankful that my name is pretty unique and that Kawaii Decoden Cases was not taken up. I did check. Sunbiz is the website for Florida. I checked to see if there was any businesses in Florida with this name. There's a few that have the word Kawaii, but none of them are Kawaii Decoden Cases. I did check. I'm not just lucky. I did check. So that's pretty important, and I found that to be a pretty good detail to share with people. Like, hey, make sure that your name is not taken. Started making custom orders only in 2019. I still had a little stock left over of all those cases that I showed you there. Those were not custom orders. Those were cases that I made practicing the craft. Tried to sell, some of them sold, most of them did not sell. Most of those did not sell. They were a waste of material because whenever I tried to sell them, people would be like, oh, I love this design, but it's not for my phone. Or, oh, I don't like any of the ones that you have for my phone. I wish it looked like this. Or can you do this theme? Can you do that theme? So from the beginning, I did have set Decoden cases, and I always opened it up to custom. I do not know the word no, so anytime somebody asked me, can you do this? I would. I do. Not everybody's like that, but I've been like that from the beginning. I did try to sell those cases that I had pre-made, and most of them didn't sell. Most of them had to be taken apart for pieces, and I still owned some of the pieces that were used on those initial phone cases. How do I know? Because the back of the of the charms still have a little bit of Decoden cream in the back, and I left it there so that I can remember where they're from. I do peel them off before I use them on new cases, but it's just like, look at this piece. It's been here for years. I enjoy that personally. 2019, I decided to stop making cases willy-nilly. It was a waste of materials, as I said. I used most of the materials again. And most people, no, everyone wants something custom, especially with their phone cases, since it's something that you use every day, something that you have in your hands every day. And usually Decoden does include a little bit of fandom. Most people's fandoms are unique to them. A lot of people have asked me if I just could make a batch and sell them. No, there's too many phones out there, and every year there's like 20 new phones. I can't. I can't do that. My subscribers here in the chat, if you guys want to share what phones you have, everyone has different phones. Not everyone has the latest iPhone, and not all of the latest iPhones fit the old iPhones. It's very frustrating. I switched to custom onlys, and it's how I've run my business ever since. No regrets in that aspect. No regrets at all. There's me at my convention booth. I tried to sell at conventions and failed during the year of 2019. So as the timeline said, I did a few conventions. I have pictures of me at conventions. I'll edit them in right over here. That was me trying to sell off what I had already made and sit at the booth and be like, oh, if you don't like any of the ones that are here, go custom order online, which is very difficult to sell that and explain that to people all day at a convention. Anyone who's sold at a convention, even if you have everything labeled with prices for everything and everything is clear, table of like how your shop works, if it works a specific way, or if it works even the normal way. People come up to your booth and ask you the same questions over and over. How much is this? How does that work? But you don't have that. I don't like any of these things here, so this isn't for me. Walk away. It's very difficult to explain. You have to custom order. I make it for you, I ship it out to you. Because then the customer's like, are you gonna like make it right now? Can I take it home right now? Can you just make it for me here? And I did try to not make cases at a convention to give to people, because I know I have the foresight that that would go badly. Asking someone in cosplay to carry around a wet Decoden piece without bumping it into anything, I know that that's physically impossible. I would have to bring my entire studio, all of the charms that I own, to a convention to work on custom orders in person. So that's something that I never did, because I was like, that no work. What I did do twice, I made an attempt, was to grab all of the custom orders that I was receiving from online and work on them during a convention, with the hopes that, kind of like on my live streams, how you guys pop into the live stream and watch me work on Decoden live, I was hoping that people would also do that at a live convention. Nobody did. I sat there Decodening to nobody. So I would rather do the actual process of Decodening, the actual piping of the Decoden cream on cases on my live streams with you guys. So that brings us to, when did that start? When did I start live streaming? The year was 2020. March 2020, COVID started, and a lot of us lost our jobs. A lot of us started taking on side hustles as full hustles. And I had already had this side hustle going on for a few years. I did have a full-time job. Right before the pandemic started, I opened my TikTok account, SimonaJulieta. I had everything on my Etsy shop still, and I opened my TikTok account and it blew up. The amount of followers that I gained from that month alone was ridiculous. I started live streaming as soon as I could, which was very fast, because I think you need 1,000 followers on TikTok to go live, and that happened within the month. I started live streaming on TikTok and gained a lot of orders, a whole lot of orders. Then my job closed down. My job put us all on furlough for a bit. And then my job let us all go. That summer, 2020, I was doing really, really well on my shop over on Etsy. Posting on TikTok, posting a little bit on Instagram, and selling on Etsy. Doing really, really well. When the algorithm is kind to you, the algorithm is really kind to you over on TikTok, especially in 2020. There was a whole lot of small businesses that saw the same amount of growth that I saw. And I'm very thankful for it because the amount of followers that I gained, I think in 2020, I think I reached 300,000 by the end of 2020. I would have to check. I don't even know where I would check that analytic, but right now I'm at 500,000 and it stayed like that for the past like 2 years, 3 years maybe. I don't even know where to pinpoint when I reached 500,000, but I know that by the end of 2020, it was a lot. 2020 and 2021 were the most successful years of my business. Sadly, that's not recreatable, so luck of the draw, I guess. TikTok blew up, and then I started doing this full-time. As I said, I lost my job, as many of us did, and I was able to do this full-time. Now, as you can see here, I did move my studio was actually in this room. This room that I'm sitting in right now used to be our bedroom, and what is now currently our bedroom was actually blocked off and was just part of the warehouse that my apartment is connected to. We had our bedroom in here, and in this corner right here is where I first started doing all those TikTok live streams. In early 2020, I moved over my studio to what used to be my laundry room. Don't ask me what we did with the laundry machines, okay? It was a tough year. I moved over to my laundry room, which was about the size of, let's see, it was 5 feet by 12 feet. Schmall. And I did most of my live streams through there, or I did all of my live streams through there inside of that lovely. Then over here later on in 2020, as we see in our timeline, TikTok banned me from going live. Apparently, this baby face right here was not allowed to live stream on TikTok. They had a very strict, I agree with it, very strict age limit on how young you should be to live stream on TikTok, which was the ripe age of 16. I, at the time, was 28, and I kept getting banned. I kept getting like a temporary 1-week live stream ban on TikTok, with the reason being I looked like I was underage. So I received those bans every couple of weeks. I don't know if it was someone manually saying, hey, this person looks young, and reported me multiple times, but I would live stream for like a week and a half. I would get a ban. I'd be banned for a week. Same thing would happen again. And it happened so much that I had so many strikes for being underage that TikTok permanently banned me from live streaming, which, as I said, as you heard earlier, my business blew up because I went viral on TikTok. So you can imagine the blow to my heart that occurred. But thankfully, I found live streaming on Twitch and live streaming on YouTube. I started multi-streaming right away on Twitch and YouTube every week, and I would still post on TikTok and a little bit on Instagram. Instagram's a little ignored in my story here. I still kind of ignore it. It is how it is. TikTok live ban started and Twitch and YouTube began. So I got to move my website from Etsy over to Squarespace. As I mentioned before, Etsy was a great place for me to begin. Once I got more familiarized with my workflow, I moved over to Squarespace. I chose Squarespace because it was the only website at the time that had the option of customization order form, which is very important because I do custom orders only. Otherwise, over on Etsy, I had to depend on people filling out the order form on Etsy, which sometimes people, if they like checked out from their mobile, the customization order form wouldn't come up. On Squarespace, I automatically, without any extra fees, had a customization order form, which was very important to me. So that's why I chose Squarespace, other than being obviously influenced by all the commercials for Squarespace. It was cool. It was neato. It was running a website online. It is what it is, right? Early or mid 2021, the TikTok ban was finally lifted. Yay! I was able to live stream on TikTok. How did I do it? I did not get in contact with any of those sketchy people who comment on all posts talking about shadow bans or anything. I just waited. I waited and waited and waited, kept posting on TikTok, kept being successful on Twitch and on YouTube, doing my live streams. And one day, TikTok contacted me. They were starting their live subscription service, which is still active now. And they wanted to invite me to be part of the beta. To which I said, sure thing. Can you undo the ban on my account? And then they were like, wait one moment. Got back to me. I was unbanned. Yay! So I had to start multi-streaming on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, which is what I do now. I had to do computer TikTok and Twitch and phone TikTok because TikTok did not have the ability to multi-stream on computer. I don't think in the beginning you could even stream on computer unless you were playing video games. Otherwise you would get banned. So I was not gonna test that again. And I did get reported a few times for being underage, but this time there is something on my account that prevents me from being banned for being underage. So 31 now. Still that's still happening. I don't know. I think it's the baby face. I don't know. Dude, I don't know. Anywho, let's go back to our timeline. TikTok live ban ended, and at the end of 2021, I received an email from Smithsonian Museum of Natural History. They were going to be working on an exhibit that would start in 2023, ending in 2026. And the exhibit was an chat, how do I say this word? Anthropology. Anthropological exhibit about cell phones, and they wanted to include a few phone cases from artists who make decorative phone cases. Somebody at the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History probably they probably just Googled Decoden phone cases or weird phone cases, or maybe looked on TikTok. I don't know. Somehow, some way, they found me. Maybe it is because my website is called Kawaii Decoden Cases, which leads people who are looking for Decoden cases, cute Decoden cases, leads them to me. I don't know. I don't know how they found me, but they found me. They sent me an email asking me, inviting me to have some pieces in there. They did pay for my contribution to the exhibit. And so late 2021, I made that case. Bada bing, bada boom, send it over there. And it wasn't until 2023 that they actually opened the exhibit. Our timeline continues. 2022, I built this studio. And by I mean it was a labor between Michael and I. We did a really good job. I did an entire video on my YouTube channel. I'll have it linked. I did a video showing the process of what it was. There used to be a closet here. Michael took down, I didn't do anything, guys. No, I did do a lot, okay? Michael took down the closet that was here. We retiled the floors, painted the walls, put the pretty decal on the window, and then moved in. I have an entire studio tour if you guys are interested. I have an updated studio tour as well. Studio obviously made a huge difference to my live stream setup. It made a huge difference to my workflow because I had just more space. It was very cramped inside of that little studio. I made it work, but it was very cramped and I definitely needed something new. This is the art studio in this home. It is the most pastel studio in this house. So 2022, the algorithm on TikTok drastically changed. We were all there for that. They no longer were pushing my live stream videos. They were no longer pushing my regular posts on TikTok at all. Because TikTok Shop was something that I did not partake in, and I continue to not partake in. I tried my darnest to partake in TikTok Shop, and it does not work for my business model. It works fabulously for business models that have ready-to-ship items. I do not. I custom make each item by hand, which takes a few days to dry. TikTok Shop still to this day has this policy that if you do not ship out the item within 3 days of the customer purchasing, the customer can get their entire money back. No argument. So let's say I received an order, started working on it right away, even finished the case. Let's say I finish the case within 3 days, right? And it's drying and I can't ship it out until a week because these things require drying. They air dry. I leave mine to dry for 5 to 7 days, so they do that. And let's say after the 4th day, after the customer has ordered, they decide, you know what? I want all my money back. TikTok just gives them the money back, and I'm left with spent supplies, maybe even a paid for shipping label. Yeah, it's really poopy. It does only allow businesses who are either drop shippers or ready to ship artists' work. Also, expecting a small business to prepare and ship out orders, even if it is a ready to ship item, is a lot of work. I have a few mutuals on TikTok that use TikTok Shop, and I have seen the amount of orders they get on TikTok, and it's amazing. I commend them on the amount of orders, but I look at the amount of orders and I'm like, oh no, are you gonna be able to ship them out on time? Because like, if you don't, TikTok totally takes the side of the customer. It can be really stressful already, plus having that deadline of 3 days is absolutely ridiculous and really closes the doors to small businesses like mine and other small businesses that take their time. It's not quick, it's not fast. Some people who have small businesses like mine, this is their side hustle. So they physically cannot ship out things because they have a full-time job or another part-time job or multiple part-time jobs. Really ridiculous. That is why I did not take part in TikTok Shop, and that is why the algorithm has chosen to deny me, to the point that I have, as I said, 500,000 followers. Very thankful on TikTok. However, none of those followers see any of my content because TikTok favors other small creators or big creators who are using TikTok Shop. It really stinks. I have really put my foot down on this, and as I said, I gave it a try. How did I give it a try? Well, but first, birth of Ubilla. There it is. I was like, where is it? That's the next thing. The birth of Ubilla. Who is Ubilla? There she is. She is my now mascot of my live streams and my shop. It's literally just Kawaii Godzilla, or cute Godzilla. The whole thing came around. Yes, thank you. We must give smooches. 1 second. Kawaii Godzilla, or Ubilla, is, as I mentioned, sort of become a mascot to this live stream and to my business, simply because I do believe it started off as I was doing a charity stream. I had one of the goals was to Decoden a Funko Pop, which, little thing about me, I despise Funko Pops with a passion. So I found the only acceptable Funko Pop that there is, which is a Godzilla Funko Pop. It's adorable, it's so cute. The only Funko Pop I would own if I were to own a Funko Pop. And guess what? I do own it. I purchased it and I Decoden it. She's adorable. It's definitely a glow up. Definitely a glow up. She was already very cute, but now she's even cuter. And has had multiple iterations. I'll post the strawberry Ubilla that I no longer own. She's out there somewhere. I gave that one away. But yeah, and of course my helmet. Which I will post pictures of me wearing the helmet and the cosplay. Kawaii Godzilla kind of became a joke here on the live stream. It's just this juxtaposition of having such a violent kaiju, nature's revenge for the atrocities done by humanity through the ages. Beautiful metaphor, juxtaposed with kawaii and cute culture, and decora culture as well.
A few moments later.
Juxtaposition of dark topics with very, very cute topics. Ubilla was born. Some people do not get it. Some people do not understand it, but I have never met a Godzilla lover that doesn't agree with Ubilla. If you don't like Ubilla, do you actually like Godzilla? Do you even get it? As I said, because of the decline in attention from the TikTok algorithm, because I was not a part of TikTok Shop, I attempted to be a part of TikTok Shop. Now, if you are a small business owner and you sell online, and you try to open a TikTok shop, you will know the stress, the amount of work, the headache that is trying to open that TikTok shop. Especially if you're trying to just combine the shop you already have online and have it also be through TikTok shop. It was difficult. I tried, I paid for so many different softwares to move my then Squarespace shop to TikTok shop, to migrate, to have it be coexistence with both. It did not work. The only way it would work is if I changed my entire website from a Squarespace website to a Shopify website. I also made the change to Shopify because they do have the Shop app, which I don't know of anyone that uses, but it's there. It exists. It's a thing. I made the decision to migrate my entire website to Shopify, which was a very easy move. I did it within a day. Even the domain move was easy. So if you are thinking about migrating from Etsy to Squarespace, or from Squarespace to Shopify, or from whatever to whatever, just do it. It really doesn't take that long. It took an entire day of just hyper-focusing on it, and I did it. I done did it. Switched to Shopify, tried my darnest with TikTok Shop, could not accept the terms having to ship out within 3 days, so I stopped trying to have a TikTok Shop, which made the algorithm hate me even more. Yes, I love it. Oh, they're nothing but consistent, right? So the algorithm still treated me really badly because I made them think that I was gonna have a TikTok Shop, and then I didn't, so. They angry with me, so I moved to Shopify. Early 2023, the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History exhibit finally opened. I did not go to the opening in person, but my aunt, my uncle, my grandma did go, I think that week. They were in DC. They passed by. I have some subscribers and some followers that actually did go to the museum and see my work, and you can still do so up until 2026. I think the exhibit is still up until then. So you will see the cute Pokemon phone case. They did add a charm on it that I did not add, so that's a little confusing. I did not send it to them with that Hello Kitty charm, so I don't know where that came from. But I ain't complaining, it's cute. They probably just were like, let's add more flair to it. And I'm like, all right. They paid me for the case, they can do whatever they want with it. I am very honored to be part of this. I'm literally in the same museum as Dinosaur Bone. That is so cool. My life is complete. How many sales have come from me having this in the museum? Zero. None that I know of. No one has ever come up to me online, digitally, and said, hey, I found you because I went to the Museum of Natural History and saw your case, and I looked at the name, and I looked you up, and here you are. Nobody, to this day, nobody has ever said that. I find that funny. It's like, when it happened, like, everyone in my family's like, this is a big deal. I'm like, no, it's not. Nobody knows. Nobody's not how life works. But it's funny, and I'm there, and I'm very honored. It's there. If you go to the museum, take a picture next to my phone case and send it to me. I love to see it. I love to see it. Late 2023, Debbie Cat, a fellow creator on both YouTube and on Twitch and on TikTok and on Instagram. She's everywhere, all right, as Debbie Cat. Go check her out. Asked me to do a collaboration with her where I Decoden some picture frames, and she provided the artwork that goes inside of the picture frames, and the picture frames were themed after each artwork. We collaborated together on the designs. It was very, very cute. Again, so happy to do it. Very lovely collab, and if there's any other digital artists who would like to do a collaboration with me in this way with picture frames, I'm so totally down. Please send me an email at kawaii.goodandcases@gmail.com. And if you're a different artist and you want to collab with me in other ways, also reach out to me. What's the worst I could do? Ignore your email? Right? I love collabing with people. I love collabing with talented people. I was very honored that she asked that of me. Go check out Debbie Cat. She's really, really cool, and she knows what she's doing. You know when you meet someone in life and you're like, you just know what you're doing? That's incredible. Never met someone that just knows what they're doing. And 2024, we have my rebrand. My brand! I wanted to change up the colors of my website because my eyes,
I have special eyes.
it was too bright. And I was like, how about we go with darker tones this time? So I decided to rebrand my entire website and remake my logo featuring Ubilla, because before it featured like this really cute Sailor Moon looking cat, and now we feature more Ubilla. So I changed the colors, as you can see on my website. I did make this laser cut version of my logo. Laser cut this, and I painted it and I glued it together, and I'm very happy with it. I also have new business cards, and I think we've reached the end of our timeline. And at the end of our timeline, we have 7,740 pieces that I have made, Decoden pieces that I have made and posted over on the Google Drive. So if you want to visit the Google Drive and see everything I've ever made, all 7,740, which I do need to paint, I laser cut this as well. We're just playing show and tell today, aren't we? I also laser cut a little counter, which I have to finish painting. I know that when it's painted, it's gonna be a little more legible, but yeah. I have a little tracker for us to manually count how many I've made. Isn't that so fun? Isn't that neat? Isn't that whimsical? Shout out to Majestic Mind, who went into the Google Drive and counted every single piece that I've made that is on the Google Drive. Incredible. Received a headache from it, and I pay her with Decoden, which she really appreciates. I'll post the picture of the phone case that I made for Majestic Mind right here. We have a counter now. As of today, August 21st, 2024, the count is 7,740. By the time I post this on YouTube, it will be a little more because we'll have a few live streams between now and then. It's a little ridiculous of a number, if I say so myself. It's a little excessive. I've had a few scares the past year on maybe having to close down my Decoden shop. At the moment, we are all good. I'm happy to say that we are all good on that fence. But like, if I ever have to close down my shop, if I ever have to stop Decodening, I'm very satisfied with what I've done. As you saw from this timeline as well, I'm very satisfied with how far I've come, very satisfied with the collaborations I've gotten to do, very satisfied with the cool things that I've gotten to do and see and meet, all that jazz. I've done a bunch of charity events. I've done maybe not collaborations like the usual YouTuber collaborations. I've never done one of those, but I've done the collaborations that actually matter, which is with real people, with places like the Smithsonian Museum, like Hilaire. My stuff is in the same museum as dinosaur bones, okay? That's a big deal to me, all right? You can't take that away from me. No sponsorship from Shopify or HelloFresh is worth being in the Smithsonian Natural Museum of History. Magical. Doing this job, getting to do Decoden full-time, getting to do what I do full-time is a blessing. It's something I'm very lucky to do, and I hope to do it for as long as I can. /want. I'm the type of person that gets bored of hobbies. I'm the type of person that gets bored of certain art forms. And I'm not bored of this one yet. Maybe someday I will, but at the moment I'm not. And if I ever do stop Decodening due to life changes, due to the world ending, just little things like that, little everyday things like that, I'm satisfied with what I've done. I'm satisfied with what I continue to do. I'm satisfied with the people I've inspired. I'm satisfied with with my wonderful creation of Ubilla, who brings joy and anger to the internet. We love to see people who know what they're doing and like what they're doing. I hope I'm that person to some of you, maybe one of you. But yes, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me today on my small business journey. I hope the timeline was enjoyable. The pictures were well placed on the screen, and I didn't talk with my hands too obnoxiously. I did, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll edit all of the and the ums out, and I'll put them right here at the end. Bye. It's gonna be a lot of editing for me. Also, please make sure that you like this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you are following and or subscribing on all social media. I am SimonaJulieta on all platforms. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to email me at kawaiidecodencases@gmail.com. Bye! That's me! That's how it is. That's how it is.